I recently held a poll on my channel asking which base you'd like to see a V2 of. A staggering 57% of you voted for a new version of the Tsunami. So here is the T2UNAMI. You'll be happy to hear that the base is built using the same classic egg footprint, same spacious starter and 3 multi-TC roof bunkers. But now it's got 3 walls to core, with a wide gap shell, a bigger open core with improved retakes, and up to 6 respawns per player. But that's not all, so sit back, relax and join me while I show you around. Jumping straight into the tour, we'll have a look at the upkeep of the externals. As you can see, I've bunkered these to make them more difficult to raid, but to keep it simple, in the tutorial I'll just show you how to build a normal version. The space only needs 3 externals, all with the exact same upkeep. In the left hand side you can put a battery or loot, it's up to you. Next I'll show you the furnace wall. If these high external walls get destroyed in a raid, then raiders won't be able to enter your compound as the furnaces are too high to jump over. Destroying the furnaces with rockets or melee tools will get them caught up in the traps, double chain link turrets, and leave them open to counter raiders. As you can see, the walls are easily replaced afterwards. Entering one of 3 gatehouses, we have peaks on the left and right looking into the compound. The triangle at half height does a great job of protecting your head. Since the introduction of furnace walls, I've found that a lot of raiders are going through gatehouses instead, so these 2 turrets also aim through the embrasures at the entrance. There are also 2 turrets above each gatehouse, protected by a double chain link. We also have a chain link funnel in the compound to protect you when you respawn in the bedrooms or re-enter the gatehouse. On 3 sides of the base you can see we have compound bedrooms, each with 2 respawns. As you can see, when you exit the bedroom you'll be protected by a double chain link, giving you control over the compound. Enter the wide gap shell through one of 3 entrances. 6 turrets cover the entire perimeter, and we also have window peaks looking outside. In the shell there are also 6 separate bedrooms. These provide angles around the compound and back into the shell, covering the entrance, and you can also shoot back through the vertical embrasures. And on 3 sides we have these breach peaks overlooking the compound and guarding your furnace wall. Enter the base itself through one of 3 entrances, each with a peak looking back into the inner part of the shell. This area is a great place to put planter boxes to make your teas. We also have 3 breach peaks around this part of the shell, which are great for early game defense too. And climbing up here we have a quick way up and down from the shooting floor. Entering the starter through the airlock, you'll see we have space for up to 13 large boxes and 8 bags. If you like, you can swap any one of these loot rooms out for electric furnaces. Here, you can see I sacrificed the airlock peak to put the TC behind a vending machine, making it more difficult to destroy, and you'll be happy to know that you can fit a day's worth of upkeep in it. Going up to the second floor through the mobility chute, we have a couple of respawns and retakes into the open core, with some box storage underneath. Jumping up to the third floor, we have one of 3 entrances to the open core. In here you'll see we have 3 large loot rooms fitting 7 boxes each, and 3 vaulted loot rooms with 4 boxes each. The vaulted loot rooms make it more difficult for raiders to get your loot and enter the base through the back wall. In the centre we have a ladder hatch. Attaching a grenade to this and sending it down into the core could help you win it online if there are any raiders down there. The open core itself is protected by 9 turrets, 3 of which are behind these vertical embrasures, and the other 6 are protected by these open core ramps. In the walls, we also have 4 more boxes on each side, giving a total of about 45 boxes in the open core. Right next to the open core we have 6 respawns with peaks looking back in. And going over to the mobility chute, we have a retake looking back into the shooting floor. Behind the embrasure we also have a hidden locker with, on the next floor up we have 6 more respawns for your team, our 3 bunkers and the open core peaks. Next to each peak you'll find a locker and 2 turrets. To open each bunker, place a triangle roof here. Inside we have a space of 4 large boxes, and at the back, a battery. To close the bunker, simply remove the twig. As you can see, the other 2 bunkers open in exactly the same way. To access the shooting floor, use one of 3 exits. Outside each one we have a roof peak which overlooks the compound and surrounding area. And they also double up as an exit onto the roof. Going back down to the shooting floor, you can see we have peaks looking down into the entrance, around the compound and into the shell.
And on three sides of the base we have these roof peaks which give nice far away angles and retakes up onto your roof. Going back inside and at the chute, you can see we have another retake onto the roof. Vending machine next to it, more roof peaks and hidden boxes underneath. These exits are mirrored on all three sides of the base, with space in the middle for a scrappy. The roof itself is guarded by 6 turrets, 3 of which are behind these ramps. The ramps make it more difficult for the turrets to be HV'd out from minis. Behind the SAM sites we have more turrets, and on either side of them we have ramp peaks. Crouching on the ramps gives you some nice angles through these vertical embrasures. And if you sit at the top of the ramp, you can also control the searchlight while holding your gun. These same peaks are mirrored on all 3 sides, making for a pretty defendable roof. On top of that, we have 3 double bedrooms on the roof, with excellent visibility all around. You can even spawn in here and use these peaks to retake your roof. And next to each bedroom you'll find a chain link peak. You can use these to crouch and shoot under the single door for a nice tight peek, or open it for more angles and to jump down into your compound safely. And here you can see the build cost and upkeep. While it's a bit more expensive than the original Tsunami, it's still easily affordable for a 6 to 8 man, and yes, the HQM cost is quite high, but that's of course because we have 3 HQM bunkers. It's also worth noting that if you leave the bunkers metal, they'll actually be more hidden, so I'll leave that up to you. Commence the build by placing down a triangle and surrounding it with squares. In an anti-clockwise motion, place triangles between each square. This will make it easier to place your TC behind the vending machine, so make sure this triangle is deliberately attached to this square. Next, surround the base with walls, leaving a gap for a single door entrance. To seal in the roof, place the triangles first to negate the triangle splashback. Place another wall here where your TC will go. This triangle foundation must be upgraded to metal before you place your TC. To make sure the TC is accessible behind the vending machine, look at the floor and notice the dots on the metal foundation. The TC must be placed behind the second or third row of dots. When you're happy with that, move the TC as far right as possible and place it. And of course, remember to always lock your TC. Now I'll show you how to place the vending machine. Stand back and slowly guide the vending machine as far in as possible. You may need to move around a little bit to get the right angle. Now you can access your TC from the side of the vending machine, but of course remember to put something in the vending machine to stop it rotating. Next, place wall frames in these locations. Put 2 dividing walls on the square, and then build your shelves. If you're trying to fit 8 bags in this starter, then you'll have to put the level 2 workbench in the square with a triangle shelf. Just remember to place the level 2 workbench before the shelf. To see what I mean, just look back at the starter shown in the tour. Before doing the externals, we need to do this build out. From the doorway, place down a square and 2 triangles, followed by another square and 4 triangles. And then finally 1 more square and a triangle. From above, the build out would look like this. If you're happy you've done it correctly, upgrade these triangles. The final triangle can stay stone. Next, connect these foundations together with 2 wall frames, 2 half walls, and then 1 more wall frame to attach them to the base. After that, you can remove all the excess twig. When completed, this section should look like this. As you can see, it's built out from the center of these 2 triangles on each corner. Repeat this step again on the other 2 sides. Next, we're going to wall stack the base. We'll do this in 2 parts so you can remove the foundations without using melee tools. As you can see, first to build up by 4 squares and a triangle. Remove all the squares, and then build back towards the base from the triangle with 5 more triangles. Remove the build out again, keeping the last triangle placed. then build up by 3 squares and a triangle. Remove the 3 squares and this triangle. Now we can build back towards the base with a series of half moons like so. When you reach this point, upgrade these triangles to metal and remove the build out. Now from here, build out by another 4 squares, upgrading the final one to metal. Then build 2 twig triangles, 2 squares, and then 3 triangles to form the external. The entire build out will look like this from above. On this triangle, place 2 half walls for the disconnecting mechanism. Then seal in this part and place your external TC. Expand the external like so, with a single door on the front. You can do this later if you prefer. Next, we're going to connect the external to this metal foundation. Place a wall frame, then connect it with 2 triangle frames and 2 square frames. Now you can remove these twig pieces. If your main TC gets destroyed in a raid and you need to replace it, first you'll have to disconnect all 3 externals, like so. To reconnect them, just replace the frame. Next, remove these 3 twig squares. Place down a half moon of triangles. Upgrade these 2. And place 2 wall frames here. Then connect the 2 triangles together with 2 more wall frames. Here, put another wall frame with a half wall on top. When done, this section will look like this. To connect this wall stacked hexagon to the gatehouse, place a wall frame and a full wall. Next to it, build up by a twig full wall and a half wall. Place a twig triangle on top. This will allow you to place a square frame on the other side. Now you can remove the twig and connect it to the gatehouse with 2 more square frames. Now the whole connection is finished and nothing will decay. As you can see, the external is connected to the gatehouse. The gatehouse is connected to the wide gap, and the gatehouse is also connected to this hexagon, which isn't connected to the base, as you can see. This is necessary for the bunkers to work. When you're happy with that, repeat this process on the other 2 sides of the base in exactly the same way. Next, we're going to expand the base and make it a bit more fortified. So in these sections, place a twig square and then a triangle. The triangle must be upgraded to HQM, otherwise you won't be able to rebuild it once the wide gap is done. When you've done that on both sides, place 2 window frames here and a door in the center. On the triangles, place a full wall. Repeat this step again on the other 2 sides. In between these parts, we're going to build the breach peaks. Place a half wall here, windows on top of the half walls, followed by another wall frame here, then build your roof, and place a triangle on top of the 2 wall frames and then a full wall. To seal this part in, you can place a wood triangle for now. Later, you can destroy it with swords or machetes to make room for the ladder hatch chute that goes up to the shooting floor. If it makes you feel better, you can just seal it in and not have the ladder hatch chute. Strengthen the raid cost through the windows by putting a frame here. When you've done that, repeat this step on the other 2 sides of the base. Going back to these sections, we're going to place 4 wall frames here. Put doors in the end 2. Next, put a half wall and a low wall here. And then 3 more wall frames in these slots. Fill them with garage doors. And put a jump up here. Up on the next level, place a triangle here and seal in the top. Put a triangle frame here to add stability. Now you can seal in the squares on either side. Now place full walls here and here too. They'll stay stone for now so we can upgrade them to metal later and rotate them. Then place a window frame here with a horizontal embrasure. Next put a full wall here, and then place wall frames in these slots. Before placing the last wall frame, build a jump up. Now finally, sealing the roof. Feel free to place as many garage doors down here as you like. When completed, this section should look like this. Repeat this step on the other two sides of the base. You can now use these windows to retake your roof and the breach beaks to look outside. Before placing the compound walls, we need to build the gatehouses. So in each one, place 2 triangles followed by your window frames. Then place down your doors and put half walls on the front. Put triangles in these locations, then half walls, and seal in the roof. Put a wood triangle here for boxes. You can use a ladder to place them. At this point, the gatehouse should look like this. Copy this again on the other 2 sides of the base. On these parts, we're going to build the compound bedrooms. So place down 5 triangles like so. Then place a half wall on these with the triangle. Build windows here, 2 full walls at the back, and then a door at the front. At the top, place 2 half walls, 3 triangles, and then seal in the roof. To place the compound funnel, put down 2 twig triangles, a twig square, and then attach a wall frame here. Remove the triangles and the frame will stay in place. Do this again on this side. Repeat this step again on the other 2 sides of the base to make for 3 compound bedrooms. Now we can place our compound walls. Next to the gatehouses, make sure the walls are angled out slightly. The same with the compound bedrooms. A 3rd wall should fit nicely between them. You can slow down the video to study my placement better if you like. When finished, your compound should look like this. Now on top of each gatehouse, place barricades. Make sure that these are placed directly in the center, otherwise they will break when you remove the twig squares. After that, you can place down your chain links. Repeat this step again on the other 3 compound bedrooms. After that, we'll complete the gatehouses. On top, place your barricades. Then build a full wall here for the shotgun trap. Then place down the double chain link. Use a gate for the turret so you can refill it. Do this again on the other 2 gatehouses. Oh, remember to put these triangle roofs on top to prevent grubs from jumping in. For the furnaces, make sure to follow my placement carefully. Don't place them too close to the gatehouse, otherwise the gaps in between them will be too big. At this point, you might want some power early game to get your turrets going, so you can place windmills on top of the gatehouses or your externals. And finally, your compound should look like this. Next, we're going to build the wide gap foundations to make the base more defendable. So place this series of foundations on each side, upgrading the ones to metal as shown. Connect them together with window frames. And repeat this again on the other side. Late game, you should put an armored door in the slot. When finished, it should look like this. Repeat this step on the other two sides of the base. On these gaps in between, we're going to build the breach peak. So place a half wall, a window. In between, place a wall frame, and then the roof. And do this again on this side. Make sure to place the wall frame in the center before the roofs. After that, repeat this step on the other two sides of the base. Next, we're going to build the open core. Go down to this square here, place two wall frames on the triangle, a floor, two walls, ceiling the top, and another wall. Place a wall to the right and rotate it to cover this gap. Upgrade this wall and rotate it, and then place the ceiling. Now place a ramp, and build a shelf in this loot room. Go to the jump up, place two twig triangles, and a twig square. Place a triangle through the wall, remove the square and replace it with a stone triangle. Next, place your boxes. And then seal it with a window. Make sure the soft side is facing away from you. Now you can remove these twig pieces, and the loot room will look like this. Repeat this step again on the other two sides of the base. Next, we're going to build the big loot room. So again, on the triangle, place two wall frames, a triangle floor, full walls extending up by two floors, and two more full walls here. Upgrade this wall and rotate it, and place another one on top. On this side, place a ceiling, a full wall, remembering to rotate it to cover the gap, and place another one on top. Don't worry, the gap here will be covered later. Next, place a ramp, then place a twig square here with a triangle through the wall, and replace the square with a stone triangle. Now place a half wall and a wall frame on top. Attach a square to the wall frame, and then place a square shelf here. Now this loot room is done, repeat this step on the other two sides. In the center of the open core, place half walls in these slots. In the middle, place a triangle frame and your ladder hatch. In the squares, place ramps. You can place boxes in these later if you like. And then seal them with square floors. In these double triangles, put a half wall and then a triangle frame. Place your furnaces before upgrading the triangle frames. These should actually be upgraded to metal to increase the raid cost through the window. When completed, this section should look like this. Next, above the breach peak, we're going to place two half walls, two full walls, a triangle frame with the ladder hatch, and then we'll seal it in with a full wall. You can soft side this wood triangle from below. Then place another ceiling here, your locker, and seal it in with a window. Make sure the hard side is facing you. And here we're going to put two full walls, a ceiling, floor at half height for the turret, and a wall frame. At the front here we'll put another window. Seal it in the top, and then place another wall frame. After that, place 3 walls on these triangles. Seal it in the top. And here put a full wall, a twig triangle to temporarily stand on. Then place your locker, and a half wall and a window frame. After that, place shelves in here. And seal it with a window. Above that, place 2 triangles and then a triangle frame above the jump up. Place another triangle to finish the jump up, then seal it all in with wall frames and garage doors. When the section is complete, it should look like this. When you're happy with that, repeat this step on the opposite sides. Now on the top of the base, we can remove this twig triangle from the back of the loot room. Seal it off, then place a square frame and a ramp. Make sure the square frame attaches to the triangle to the left, otherwise you won't be able to place the ramp. Then repeat this step again on the other 2 sides. Now finally we can seal in the top of the open gore. Place the triangles first, then the squares, and the triangle in the center. To make this floor less complicated, we're going to build the bunkers first. On this triangle, place 2 full walls and a ceiling, then a single door for the battery. All these parts must be the same material to seal gaps caused by the wall stacking. Then to the left, place a full wall, and on the other side, place a wall frame. These must also be the same material. Rotate both of them so this conditional model appears, covering any gaps. Next, place the ceiling. On the right, place another wall, but make sure it's rotated so the soft side is facing out. This closes a gap in the roof. Then place the final wall. Next, open the bunker with a triangle roof, and attach a triangle to the square ceiling, making sure it connects to the right slot. To place a shelf in your bunker, place a twig half wall and triangle here. Now the bunker is complete, it should look like this. Repeat this step on the other 2 sides. Next we'll build the exit to the shooting floor. Put a wall frame here, and a window frame here. Then a full wall to the left, a triangle for the jump up, and then 2 triangles for the roof. Place another wall frame and fill the slots with doors. Note that it's extremely important that you don't put a wall frame here, otherwise you'll seal the bunker forever. As always, repeat this step on the other 2 sides. Next we'll build this section, put 2 wall frames above the ladder hatch, with a ceiling on top, a full wall, another ceiling, and then place your locker behind either a single door or a window. Behind the ramp, place 2 more full walls, a ceiling, and a triangle at half height for the 2 turrets. In the ceiling, place a square floor frame, followed by a square floor. We can do this as there's actually 2 slots here caused by the wall stacking. When completed, this section will look like this. Repeat this again on the other 2 sides. complete the ceiling, it's best to do it from on top of the base. Place 2 wall frames here, and to cover this gap, place a garage door, making sure the roller covers it. And place another triangle on top. And make sure that you don't place a wall frame here, otherwise again you'll break the bunker. Repeat this on the other 2 sides. Then in the center, place 3 full walls, followed by a triangle on top, and 3 square floors. Next we'll complete our roof exits and cover this gap here. Don't try and be clever and cover it with a square floor frame, as any boxes placed on it will despawn. Next, place 3 half walls in the center of the roof, followed by 2 half walls either side of the squares. Seal it in with a square floor, and place a window in the slot furthest away from you. Put a ramp inside to make the boxes easier to access, and place an embrasure. When completed, the roof exit will look like this. Repeat this again on the other 2 sides. And don't forget to put 2 triangles on each side to make it easier to park your scrappy. We do have a locker right next to the ramp peak in the open core, but if you want kits right next to your beds, you could put 2 drop boxes on all sides here. Next, we're going to start building the shooting floor. Either side of the entrance, place a full wall. And then in this wall frame, place a shop front. Next, on this triangle, place 2 full wall frames here, and 2 on this triangle too. On these double triangles, place wall frames on top of the windows, another one here, and a window on the left. Place 2 full walls here, and then seal in the top. Now do the same on this side. Just make sure that the window points towards the entrance. When completed, this front section should look like this. When you're happy with that, repeat these steps on the other 2 sides. After that, extend the breech peaks. Place triangle floors on top, then 2 full walls here with half walls on top of those, and then full wall frames on the outside. Use a ladder or the ladder hatch to get up to here, and place 2 square floors, making sure you've got this tiny gap between the ladder hatch and the square floor. On top of the metal wall frames, place 2 windows, and then your roofs. If you can't place the roofs, upgrade the frames to metal. From up here, attach 2 square floors to the stone triangle in the middle. Then place 2 low walls on top of those. Then 2 triangle roofs and seal in the top. This section would look like this when it's complete. Repeat this step on the other 2 sides. On the shooting floor exit, place a square floor on the left and right. Then place 2 full walls here, stand on 1 full wall and place a stone wall at the front. Put the square floor on top, then jump down here, place a twig triangle to stand on, and here put a metal floor frame with a half wall and a window here. Then we could place our triangle roof. Place more twig floors here, and 2 half walls and 2 low walls. At the front here, put 2 metal frames and then attach 2 triangles to it. Now you can delete the twig, jump up and over to the other side and repeat this step. Now to the left and right of the square, place 2 half walls and 2 windows. After that, place a twig floor here, followed by a square frame attaching to the half walls, and go and stand on the twig floor. Now we can place a roof. A triangle roof actually gives better peaks here. Now we can place a grid inside the frame. It must be done from this angle. After placing a half wall and a window, add it up over to the other side, seal it in the top, and place a garage door. Next, run over to these double triangles, place 2 window frames and a ceiling. And do the same on this side. Now we can place square floors here, then half walls on top of these windows. Put double doors here to separate the shooting floor, and seal in the top. When finished, this section will look like this. As always, repeat the step on the other 2 sides. Now finally we can complete the roof. Start off on these squares and place windows all around, followed by a wall frame and a door here. Place a triangle on top for the turret, and in this window frame place shutters. This will enable you to place 2 drop boxes above. Now you can remove the shutter and replace it with an embrasure. Next, place a twig floor here, and then 3 half walls. Place a floor on top of the half walls, and place 3 wall frames on top of that for your windmill. Next, place a ramp here, and then another one on the twig floor in front, which must be upgraded to metal so the turret can see clearly through it. Remove the twig underneath, and the ramp will hang in place. Remember to place your turret here. When completed, this section would look like this. Repeat this again on the other 2 sides. I'm starting to wonder how many times I said that this tutorial. Next to these towers, we're going to place our chain link. So build a frame, and then place 2 wall frames. You can actually remove the frame afterwards, and the wall frames will just hang in place. Next to our P-cups, we're going to place a window frame on top of the wide gap with a roof on this side. Behind the window, place a raised ramp, which should be upgraded to metal to get the best peaks out of the P-cup. Place the searchlights on the windows, stand on top of the triangle roofs. And lastly, you can put 3 SAM sites here. Don't remove the triangle floors though. Unfortunately, FaceBunch decided to patch that for some stupid reason. and the base is done. So if you made it this far, give yourself a pat on the back, leave a like and a comment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, so you can keep up to date with all my latest creations. See you in the next one. Cheers.